What's going on, everyone? It's Richard. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a Q&A that I asked on my Instagram. I gave people the opportunity to ask me whatever it is they want. There's business, there's fighting questions, there's relationship questions, there's questions here that I probably don't actually even have an answer for because people ask me the most random stuff in history. So let's get stuck into it. First question from my man Colin Campbell. No combat sports experience. Where should a man start? Here's my advice. You should not be doing, generally, with respect, you shouldn't be doing karate, you shouldn't be doing tai chi, aikido, krav maga, any of that stuff. It's all a load of nonsense in my opinion. If you truly want to learn how to fight, how to defend yourself, regardless of where you are in the UK, there is going to be a boxing gym nearby somehow. There's going to be Muay Thai, there's going to be judo, there's going to be jiu-jitsu, there's going to be wrestling, there's going to be something near you out of those 5 sports. Those are your real foundational combat sports. They're the ones that, regardless of whether you can just wrestle, you can just box, you will be able to defend yourself. Combat and learning how to fight is something that, in my opinion, is essential for a man to protect yourself, to protect your wife, to protect your kids, protect people in your company, whatever it may be. It's also just good for your confidence, good for your fitness and your physical health as well. So go and learn something legit. Don't go and learn something rubbish. You don't need to convince yourself you're going to go and become a fighter straight away. That's not what I want you to do. Just go out there, walk into a gym, get rid of the ego, because if you don't get rid of the ego at the front door, someone's going to punch it out of you. That's the facts, right? That's just how it goes with these sports. Go into the gym, train hard, stick it for at least 6 months. If you don't like boxing, go and try judo. You don't like judo, go and try wrestling, whatever it may be. Find something that you enjoy, and over time you'll get a more diverse combat skill set, and I guarantee you, your appearance, how you carry yourself, the confidence you have, your relationships, everything will improve as a man. So Manos Kyriakakis asked me, where do I see myself 5 years from now? By the way, I've got no answers prepared for any of this. I'm literally on my Instagram thing. I don't think about any of this stuff. I just answer it as it comes. So where do I see myself 5 years from now? Well, a big focus of mine over the next couple of years is to add more business portfolio interest to what it is that I do. So start to accumulate more strategic shareholdings in other businesses, whether that be providing services for those businesses, whether it be for a capital injection into those businesses, for consultancy in those businesses, whatever it may be. I want to add a portfolio of businesses. The reason being is, inside of the next 5 years, I would love to be involved in an 8-figure exit. Whether that is me having, 9-10% of a company that sells for 10 million quid or whatever it may be. I have no experience in mergers and acquisitions, really. I've got no experience in ever selling anything. I sold a limited company once for £1. It's not that impressive. So I would love to be able to get involved in more stuff like that. So I know that just now I need to take more actions in terms of building my shareholdings to be able to increase my chances of doing that. A lot of my businesses are built around a personal brand, making them valuable, yes, but much harder to sell, because when you remove the personal brand, it becomes hard to promote the business because the affinity with the business is created through that individual. So I definitely, inside of the next 14 to 16 months, I will not be in Scotland as my main location. That's an absolute guarantee. I plan on relocating myself and all my businesses to Dubai at the start of 2025. I'm giving myself 14 months for a little couple of months either side. I have boxes I need to tick this year. That does not mean that I will be changing my team here in Scotland. Doesn't mean that I'll be getting, out of this space here. I'll be travelling back and forth to Scotland frequently to be able to service my clients, to be able to continue my events here. I'm just not really enjoying living in Scotland anymore. It's not really for me. I have a very small handful of friends here that will be able to afford to fly over. Dare I say, it might even motivate them to move themselves. But inside of the next 5 years, that's really some small goals. Definitely kids, married, all that kind of stuff. But other than that, I'm being peaceful and optimistic with everything that I do. So I would say that my 5-year plan, I used to always have one. I don't really have one that's super set in stone right now. Blair Ford has asked me, when you're going to take one for the team and start a mad Scottish MMA promotion? Honestly, I think I'd rather get hit with a bus. Now, the reason I say that is I actually discussed buying a promotion in Scotland previously, who were known as Scotland's best MMA promotion. They haven't had a show in a couple of years. I fought on it previously, and it just never really came to fruition. It wasn't something that I was that interested in doing. I got asked to be part, business-wise, of like the Scottish influencer boxing stuff when it was first suggested last year, and I've just never done it. There is no money in putting together an MMA show. It's super stressful. From what I see and the people I know that have done it all over the UK with big shows, and they're making pretty much no money. Would I be able to do it out of passion? Yes, but here's me being realistic. I don't like 90% of the people in Scottish MMA, and they don't like me either. I'm not the most agreeable person in the world. I know that people, you know, fighters can be some of the most stubborn, boring people in the world. As soon as you make content that isn't just, hey, look at me, look at how solid I am and I punch things, people are like, oh, you're a gimp, you're a weirdo. I don't care, right? So there are certain people in gyms and that I would just not want to even have on there. So it would end up being like 2 or 3 gyms able to fight on it because I would just be so stubborn. I'm not going to say it's impossible. Maybe I'll do one before I decide to leave Scotland and it'll be fun. I would like to have a mad rule set though, so like something like, you know, bare knuckle MMA would be fun. Soccer kicks being allowed, stuff like that. I just love mad stuff like that, but I can't see myself doing that. It would be wasting money, wasting time, wasting resources for people who ultimately don't actually like me that much to help them get a leg up and, you know, and further their careers. So yeah. Don't see me doing that anytime soon, but if it changes, Blair, I'll be on the phone. So I'm going to hide this name because I'm going to give some real advice here, right? Got a question. Any tips for a young clothing brand owner? Young man, you know who you are. You know that you've messaged me many times. In the last 6 months, you're now a clothing brand owner. Previously, you were a remote closer. Before that, I think you were doing something else. Stick to one thing, right? Firstly, clothing brand, bin it. It's one of the hardest businesses to make money in, right? It's so difficult to make money as a clothing brand owner, especially when people are just buying Fruit of the Loom t-shirts, stick a random logo on it and go and try and push it out there. If you are not someone who's creative, design-minded, fashionable, right? I don't know anything about fashion. I'm wearing a Primark tracksuit, Primark quarter zip, Primark t-shirt, Primark boxers, Primark joggies, Primark socks, Hyper Turquoise Air Max 95s because I'm a G, right? Casio. I'm dripping, but I'm doing it like cheap, right? If you're not someone who's like fashion minded, just don't do a clothing brand, please. There are easier ways to make money. Much easier. If you're motivated by loving clothes and all that, cool. If you're looking for a way to make money, which based on our previous interactions, you are, just sack that, throw it off, right? Focus on one thing. So many people are like, I'm going to have a dropshipping store and I'm going to do Forex and I'm going to flip a couple of houses and I'm going to do remote closing and at the same time I'm going to build a social media marketing agency. It's like, come on, seriously. I watch all the same creators as you guys, right? But I don't sit with like a rod on wanting to start every business that they do. Oh, I watched Iman Gadzhi today, I need to start an SMMA. Oh yeah, but I watched Grant Cardone as well, I'm going to start a fund. And then, oh, I watched Meet Kevin, what's he doing now? Still scamming people for crypto probably, right? I don't have a clue. But just chill out. Pick one thing, focus on it, give it 100%. If you do 5 things over the next 5 years, you're going to have 5 really average things. If you do one thing over the next 5 years, you're going to become a savage. I don't have any tips for a clothing brand owner other than don't do it. Haris Nassar, not a question. The beard looking fire. Yep, I know. Thanks. 27, finally able to grow one. Used to get gaps in here. They gave me an automatic like Captain Price. Not anymore. Balls descended, testosterone flying. Thank you very much. Fraser Gillespie, what failure did you go through before you became successful? I don't have one of these stories, not yet anyway, hopefully never. Like you hear from loads of entrepreneurs, you know, I had all this stuff and I lost it all. You hear it from Hormozi, Cardone, it doesn't matter who you watch, they've all got these kind of stories. Built up everything, I lost it, here's how I made it back. I've had points in business where it's been really up, really down, really up, really down. That is mostly due to ignorance, overspending. There's so many different things, but I've never been in a position where I've actually lost everything. One thing that's hard though is losing friends. You will go through a period where you're not successful enough to become friends with the people you want to associate with, and you're too successful to still be friends with the people you maybe went to school or college with. And that is probably the period of the most loneliness in your life if you don't have a girlfriend or a partner, wife, boyfriend, whatever it is you're looking for. So that in itself, because I guess you said failure, it's not failure, I would revamp that to challenge. You'll go through tough times during that, and you won't have a support network to turn to. And even if you do have a girlfriend, you're going to ask her a question about business when she's not a business person, she's in uni or she's in college or she's working a job, or like you're not going to have anywhere to go and actually receive that information. So that will definitely be a challenge for you. although it's by no means a failure. I hope I don't have a big failure. I don't think you have to. I think there's so many stories of losing everything and coming back that people assume that is just how life works. You must lose everything to then become successful, and if that's how you think and that's how you focus your energy in your life, then yeah, it's going to happen to you. I don't think I'm going to be that guy. Fingers crossed anyway. So yeah, no big failures as such, just challenges. You never know who's really there for you romantically, friend wise. She with me because I've got the car, because I've got the watch, because we go on the holidays. She actually like me. These guys want to hang about with me because I'm the guy that, not me because I don't go to clubs, because I'm the guy that can buy bottles and, you know, buy the VIP area, and we can do this and that, and I pay the restaurant bill and you know, all that kind of stuff. That the realistic thing is that everyone needs to realise is that real friends, you almost don't have a way to measure them in terms of actual metrics, because real friends, the realest thing they do is fight your corner when you're not there. And the whole point is that you're not there. You don't get to see them fighting your corner. And the other realistic aspect is that even if you have 500 followers online, there will be more people who you have never met on the internet who will back you and support you than you have in your closest friends, or who you believe your closest friends are in your phone. Everyone wants to see you succeed until you're succeeding. When you're driving the crap car and you're buying everything on the credit cards and you're still at mum and dad's house, you can't move out, can't buy yourself trainers, you can't do anything. You just eat what mum makes because you don't have any money to spend on food, because that's the position you're in your business. Everyone's like, yeah, I hope you make it. I hope you make it. And then as soon as you do make it a little bit, whether that means going from, in my case, the Fabia to the C-Class, you drive past your friends, oh, hope you're not too important for us now, Richard, hope you're not too important. It's like, now I can tell that you're changing already. So the real ones, they're going to fight your corner when you're not there. But just understand that people are there for, what is it people say? Hormozy said this, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I've kind of went on a mad tangent on that question, but I'm sure it makes sense. So I've got a two-part question here, which, by the way, is potentially the favourite ever question I've ever got on a Q&A that I've done on YouTube, or any of the ones I've done on Instagram. Two-part question is from Jordan Woodruff. And Jordan, I don't know if you attended one of our events, but I know that your partner did, who you're asking this question on behalf of. Lovely guy, you've got an absolute diamond there. Question for the girls: how can I help my man succeed? Part one. And part two is, what shouldn't I do? What hinders his progression? Because his success is ultimately ours. Ladies, take note, please, right? Please. Just asking these questions, any guy wants that, right? So, how can you help your man succeed? Peaceful. Be peaceful, right? Don't be, pardon my language, boss bitch. Yeah, you need to, meet my expectations, meet my standards type nonsense, right? Like, no guy, especially doing what William does, chefing, hardest thing in the world, right? Not chefing like in Witherspoon's, like he's an elite level chef. It's one of the hardest jobs you can have in the world, and it's also one of the most underappreciated and underpaid for what these people do. No wonder they're all alcoholic wall punchers, right? So he comes home from a long day, right? A long day. And by the way, I'm sure you work and you have long days as well, but I'm just answering this question based on what you've asked me. Be peaceful to the guy, man. Let him come in. If he says that he wants to go and play his PlayStation, let him play his PlayStation. Don't say, oh, but you've been out for 12 hours today and I've not seen you yet. If he comes in and goes, sweetheart, I'm stressed, I'm going to play my PlayStation, can you stick me on a cup of tea, please? No problem. Because like you've said, the success is ultimately ours, right? It is shared by you, by him, by your future children, grandchildren. If something happens to your family and he's in a position where he can financially support your family, let him play the PlayStation. Make him the cup of tea, right? He wants a toasty, make him a toasty. The guy's been cooking all day, doesn't want to cook anything for himself, right? And that's not me just reducing women to, making food for them. I'm just talking about things that men value. I can go and spend, thousands on my partner and, buy jewellery, holidays, whatever, right? And you don't have to think twice about it. If you have the money, it's easy enough to go and do. See, when I get a dinner made for me, or a sandwich, or, you know, your clothes put on the heater before you come out the shower, like, see, stuff like that to a man is just exceptional. Doing things like that, just be peaceful for him. No man wants to, you know, fight in the workplace and fight when they come home. The average life of a man is so competitive. When you're going for job interviews, you want to do a sport, you're applying for anything, you're trying to level up your life. There are thousands of other men who are better qualified, faster, stronger, fitter, bigger, more skilled, wealthier, like funnier, cooler, taller. The average life of a man is so competitive. Don't be another thing he has to compete over. Be a place of peace and consistency. You will have arguments, you will have issues, all that kind of stuff. That's not me saying that if you have a problem with him or he's done something disrespectful, you keep your mouth shut. No. But just be peaceful, right? Well, you said, what shouldn't I do? What hinders his progression? Yeah, it kind of just leans on that again, to be totally honest. I'm sure this makes a lot of sense, what I'm saying. One thing, the thing that hurts men the most is actively being embarrassed or belittled by the partner. So, you know, if I'm standing talking to a friend and I say, oh yeah, you know, we went on holiday to San Diego, but it was LA that we went to. There was only like 2 hours difference between them. Don't jump in and go, Richard, you know, it was LA. Sorry guys, it was LA. Just be quiet. He made a mistake, just let him keep going, right? Like, never jump in to belittle or override your boyfriend or your husband or your fiance. Embarrassment is the worst thing you can ever do to a man. Shout at me, cool. I'm not going to find you scary anyway, right? Shout at me if you need to. Scream. Storm out the house. Yeah, cool, whatever. Just don't embarrass me, because that is something that men really struggle to come back from, is being embarrassed. You know, I seen a thing a couple of weeks ago and it was like a woman taking like a screenshot of an outfit she wanted to wear to a night out, and in my opinion it was horrendously inappropriate. Like, she may as well put a plaster over 2 of her nipples and, you know, a bit of duct tape over wherever, right? It was horrendous. Now, people say, oh, it's insecurity. The real definition of insecurity is being a man who lets your partner do whatever it is they want, because you're not secure enough in yourself to think, I can actually stand up for myself for this woman and be respected. That is insecurity. Saying to your partner, by the way, I'm not comfortable, you going out almost naked to a club until 4 in the morning, that's not insecurity. That's called having preference, boundaries, and for the woman to listen to you, it's called having respect. Everyone has their own preferences. If you're a woman who wants to do that, cool, crack on. That's not the point I'm making here, right? But this girl would send to her boyfriend, oh, I'm wanting to wear this outfit, and he'd replied saying, you know, sweetheart, please, like, I'm really not comfortable with that. And she, like, replied to him, haha, you don't get to tell me what to do, bae, or some crap patter. And then screenshotted and posted it on an Instagram story. Like 8,000 followers or something. So only 8,000 people, right? In terms of following, it's not that much. That's probably 8,000 people quite geographically concentrated. His friends, her friends, oh yes, gal, slay. All the guys being like, oh my goodness, look at this boy asking his missus to do something, she just slaughters him. That there, you do that to me, you're done. Finished. Contract voided, don't care. Like, do not embarrass him in any way. Funny jokes, embarrassing him if he gets too drunk, taking a video of him because he, you know, peed his boxers. I find that kind of stuff funny. But going out your way to ridicule your partner, for men, that's the worst possible thing you could ever do. So hopefully that gives you some pointers. From Leo McWilliams, when you're wanting a trim. I've seen some of the haircuts that you do, Leo, right? You're like the guy from Scary Movie with the withered hand who's been given a rusty machete that's been clattered off a brick wall for the last 45 minutes. Not only would I have a bad haircut, I'd probably get sepsis as well. I'm just joking. I'm a baldy. Anyone could cut my hair, right? It's the easiest thing in the world. So when am I wanting a trim? Hopefully not anytime soon, but if it comes to it, I'm happy to let you do it. But I'm paying you nothing. Don't expect paid. 0. So, from Pedro, how the F Do you analyse and improve from YouTube data? Very, very, very concise question. Well, right now I am averaging to buy a subscriber of around about 82 pence through the promotions that we run, which is really good. I'm willing to chuck hundreds of thousands of pounds per year at that to try and rapidly grow my YouTube audience. You might not want to do that, so it really depends what data you're looking at. You're going to want to catch engagement as fast as possible. If you don't have at least a couple of thousand of subscribers, you shouldn't be making videos any longer than 4 minutes, because nobody's going to watch them. You haven't bought the audience's respect yet. So it really depends. Your key metrics: watch time up. You want to get watch time up. Views is good, but watch time is the king. I keep burping and nearly dying whilst doing this video. So definitely look to try and improve your watch time, and you're going to do that by making shorter videos, not longer ones. So Jack Howie, best way of getting independent funding or investment? It would help if I had a clue what you're getting investment for, because if it's like a fairy cake factory, you're probably not going to get any, realistically, so it really depends, and that's what I'm going to draw it back to. It depends on the offering. Some people have certain predisposed interest in asset classes that they'll enjoy getting involved in, but I generally would say that in terms of private investment from individuals, small family offices, venture capitalists who you're dealing with on a one-to-one basis, it is based nearly wholly on you. If you are likeable, you appear trustworthy, you are energetic, driven, motivated, the vehicle matters a lot less sometimes, as long as it isn't something totally obscure. If you're in the property world, the, precious metals, whatever it may be, is down a lot of the time to you being likeable and who you click with. That's why it's important to be as authentic as possible. I went through a very small phase of wearing shirts and ties, and I could not get an investor to close with me. I could not raise money. I could not get someone to buy a deal off me. And I was thinking, I've sharpened up my eye so much, I've polished myself up, why is this not happening? It just wasn't me. That wasn't me in those meetings. It was a version of me that I was trying to create to make other people happy. Building a long-term relationship with someone based off a version of you which is inauthentic and doesn't exist is really, really difficult. So, best way of getting independent funding, private investment, be prepared, go to your meetings prepared, carry all your numbers, all your analytics, all your previous case studies and testimonials, and be you, be interesting, be likeable, right? Be energetic, be on bloody time. There are people that are late, it makes me sick, right? It would help a lot if I knew what you were talking about in terms of what you're raising money for, but those are generally just a few quick tips and tricks. So that concludes our Q&A for today. Got through a bunch of questions there from Instagram, so thank you very much. If you asked a question, make sure you keep your eyes peeled on my Instagram story. We'll be doing these every couple of weeks to make sure that you guys get your questions answered by me here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate if you click that subscribe button down below and click the like button too if you enjoyed the video. And if you thought the video was nonsense and crap, click the dislike button, because I appreciate honest metrics, not just vanity ones. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon.